Hi, Krista. I'm going to start
Hi,
this time.
Heather.
So I'm going to say hi, Krista.
Hi, Heather.
So this week we're going to do something a little bit different than we normally do. We're still going to hopefully get to some thoughtful places, but we're going to start with a slightly more lighthearted but still kind of serious place. And I want you to start with we're talking, we had this conversation before we hit record. And we were talking about what to do about the wealth inequality in the world and and there was a stat that I think you and I both saw about how Elon Musk is now making more per year than all of the teachers in the US combined in a year, or something, I don't know, something absolutely ridiculous and obscene. And when we talked about that, you had a very interesting, rather clever hypothetical solution for the wealth inequality that exists in the world. So over to you.
Oh. Okay, so here is my pitch. I have no idea who's going to greenlight this because anybody who might have capacity to greenlight it um, might also have to be on the show. But my pitch is a reality show similar to the old show Hoarders, if you've ever seen that, where people, are hoarding things and someone goes into their house to help them clean up and they're offered some psychological support to help them deal with their whatever led them to get to the place where they were hoarding. So my pitch is that we take that idea, but we do it for the ultra wealthy, where we treat the ultra wealthy as though they have a hoarding problem of wealth. So you get a group of psychologists and financial advisors and all of these kinds of people to come in and address the fact that they are hoarding all of this wealth and for at the expense of everyone else, literally. So yeah, so we would get rid we'd, we'd look into all of the yachts that they own that they never use, all of the properties that they own that they don't live in, um, all of the stocks that they own that they're just making passive income on, but then that income is going nowhere. So we'd redistribute all of that, and then we'd work with them to come up with an adequate amount that they could survive on for the
Yeah.
rest of their life, which wouldn't be that hard because they seem to have a lot of it. We would also make sure that they don't accrue any new debt, because that's part of this whole crazy cycle where they just use all of this income that they have to accrue new debt, and then it just snowballs. And for some reason, it makes them wealthier, but the rest of us, when we do that, it makes us poorer, which really doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
And then we'd work with them, with the psychological support to find the
Yeah.
root of why maybe they've gotten to this point, and then set up some social supports for them so that they can have actual real friends and relationships and not have to
Yeah.
worry all the time about, are people only liking me for my money or just trying to get something out of me. So yeah, so
Yeah.
help them do some community building as
You and I could
well.
go in there as their community building
Right,
coaches, or
that's right.
how to make friends kind of
Yeah,
coaching. We could provide some really meaningful
totally.
support.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we could take elements from like oh, what's the makeover show with the guys?
Oh, the property,
Oh,
not the
no,
property
no,
brothers, I
no,
was gonna
no,
say,
no,
or
no.
the
The Fab
oh,
Five.
the queer eye.
Queer Eye.
Yeah.
How right
Yeah.
over my head. But we could take elements of Queer Guy, and
Absolutely.
it could be like
Yeah.
Olive or Queer Eye. Sorry. Um, we could have different folks who help
Yeah.
restyle their life to help them get over their
Yeah.
wealth hoarding.
To make them a little more socially acceptable,
Right.
and build friendships and find
Absolutely.
secure
And
places where they could
help
get
the rest of the
people.
world in the process, because,
Yeah.
their wealth would be redistributed to places that really need it
Yeah.
and people that really need it. Maybe we could
Well,
actually get a universal income, guaranteed income at some point.
and
Like, the
yeah.
possibilities feel endless here.
Well, and because we're all entertained by reality TV right
Right?
now, that's such a huge hit
Exactly.
that could be a really
So
successful show.
everybody would be on board. They'd want to watch it. And who's next? Will it be Bezos? Will it be Musk? Will it be someone else?
Peter
Like
Thiel.
Peter
Yeah.
Thiel,
Yeah.
Trump, maybe? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But I figure, there's not that many of them, so we can maybe get a season or two out of this. But by then, I think, we could move on to other issues that we could
Yeah.
tackle.
Yeah.
And it could be a really exciting way to sort of get us all on board with
Yeah.
helping these
Yeah.
poor folks struggling with wealth hoarding.
I love it. And you and I were sort of picturing, imagining how they do in those hoarding TV shows where you have to
Yeah.
put everything you own out on the lawn,
Yes,
and we're gonna have this is your keep pile, and
that's
then this
right.
is your
Giveaway pile.
distribute, recycle, or give away to
That's
somebody
right.
else pile. And we
That's
could do
right.
this with their money. You only get a
Uh-huh.
reasonable something enough money that can fit on one tarp. That's as much as you get.
One tar. We may have to involve like the mint or something to
Yeah.
actually like print, because I don't know how much of the money is real anymore,
Yeah,
but
we could create some fake money just for the
yeah.
telephone te
Oh yeah.
television,
Lots of monopoly money. We could
exactly.
use it to
Yeah,
represent
or we
it.
could make AI versions of it. Like we
Yeah,
find some creative
totally.
way of creating piles of money that made it realistic enough that people would
Right.
understand how much they got to keep that was
That's
still
right.
far more than most of us have, and yet
Right.
all of this had to be redistributed somehow in the system.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
right. So that's my pitch. If anyone would like to, help me figure out how to get access to these people, I don't. The my when I pitched this to another friend, she was like, "Well, how are you going to get their consent to participate in this?" And I'm like, "I don't know if I need their consent. I mean, I guess I probably do if I'm going to be, stick to my morals."
Well, I think somehow we have to start by convincing them that this is actually their path to real love, to
Yes.
really be adored.
Yes,
Because
that's
these
right.
people want to have status and power and fame and all those things. And so
Yeah.
that's part of their addiction and hunger. So
Yeah.
we need to get someone to infiltrate the ranks to help them understand that this is the pathway
Right.
to getting legitimate access to love. Not just people who
Exactly.
pretend to be loving you, but we're
That's
actually
right.
going to put you on the path to actually genuinely having friends and being
Yes.
adored in the world as opposed to being
Yes.
feared and revered in a certain
Yes.
twisted way.
And, we can help them tackle their death anxiety because I think there's a lot of that going on. Because when all you
Yeah,
do is hoard an impermanent thing like wealth, like that's a
yeah,
really empty and hollow feeling. So, we
exactly.
can talk about, you know, how your death anxiety may be contributing to your hoarding problem.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
because
I can
that's a
imagine
real human thing, right?
we'd get people signing up by, oodles of
The
people
droves.
signing up to be on the show as their support people. We'd get some highly skilled psychologists. We'd get life
So
coaches. We'd get
much.
design coaches to redesign their homes so that they're actual homes
100%.
and not,
And
opulent
not just
homesteaded
living
monstrosities.
mausoleums,
Yeah, they won't need
right?
any ballrooms.
No.
They don't need any marble toilets or gold
Nope.
toilets. We'd have somebody designing things that were actually livable.
Yeah, and maybe we could introduce them to like creators and think people who make things really
Yeah,
intentionally.
yeah,
And maybe there's something they want to learn to
yeah,
do and to make with their hands. Maybe that would help, distract them from this empty feeling of needing more dollars if
yeah.
they were creating something meaningful.
Something real and yeah,
Yeah, totally. Because
lasting.
I mean,
Yeah,
I have found such joy in just I crochet things. I
yeah.
made a couple of these giant unicorns for my boss's kids, and there was just so much fun. She sent me a video of their reaction. And it was just like so delightful to see them enjoying these things that I made.
And this is getting more serious now and going away from our game show, but like, can you imagine? I can't imagine that there is more true delight than what you've just described. You make something and make something with love and kindness and give it to somebody who actually appreciates it. Can you imagine that hoarding millions of dollars brings any real joy compared to that
No, I
moment of
can't. I can't. I really can't.
no, I can't
Because
either.
like it feels just so meaningless at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
what? Because
Yeah.
you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I had this thought years ago that what do I want people to say about me when I die? Like, which is maybe a morbid thing to think out of the blue, but it reframed a lot of the ways that I approach my life because it's like I don't care if I leave behind $1 million. I don't.
No.
I care that people say that I was kind, that they
Yeah.
felt loved in my presence. I care that they remember a time that I maybe helped them or that they were able to help me and that we had a
Yeah.
good conversation. Like that's the stuff that I care about. That's what I want to be remembered for. I don't want to be remembered for my stuff, to be
Yeah.
perfectly frank.
On a related note, so a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, died this week. Somebody who I
Mm,
was my closest friend in university, and his
mm,
name is Ian Ross. And if you're in theater world at all, you know his name because he was
yeah,
quite renowned in the theater world. And when you say talking about people that you remember and how you remember them after they die. When he won the Governor General's Award for a play he wrote back in
yeah,
1997. And when he won that award, he back then I think it was worth like $10,000 or something like that.
right.
He rented out the Golf Dome in Winnipeg and threw the biggest party, invited everybody. We all
Oh, I
went
love
and played
that.
mini golf and played baseball. And that's my memory of the quality of his character. It's like it
Yeah,
was his first significant money he came into in his
yeah.
life, and he threw a party for
And
everybody
he
he
threw a
cared about.
party.
He threw a big party. And that's
I
to
love that.
me, it's like, could he have hoarded that money? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of people would have.
Yep.
And will that hoarding ever bring you the quality of joy that throwing a big party for your friends brings? And like I say, now, 35, 30 years later, that's what I remember
That's
about
what you
him is
remember.
that is
Yeah.
the party. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So yeah, so that's our
That's
that's
a
our
great
thought for
pitch.
today.
I'm on
Thank
board.
you.
If
Thank
I
you.
if I had a TV network, I'd
Listen.
work with you on it. We'd find
Thanks.
some way
Yeah.
of getting these guys on board.
I, I'm just putting it out into the universe, see what comes
Yeah.
back because sometimes things like this. And maybe there's a really brave billionaire out there who's like, I kind of like this idea. I'd be the first guest. Um,
Yeah.
Give me a shout. You can reach me by email.
Yeah.
I'll work with you. We'll make this happen.
Yeah.
If you want to finance your own rehab, you have the money to do it. So,
We'll find the people. We've got good people that would work with you on that.
and honestly, if Heather and I make a tiny little bit of money off of it, just so we can pay our own people, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Or maybe we'd
Yeah.
throw a party. We could do
That'd be
that too.
some of the balance coming in. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, I love that. Let's be
Yeah.
creative about. Yeah. We were
I've
talking
been,
about hope too before, and how do you
yeah.
sort of maintain hope when things feel bizarre and irrational and stressful? Um, and I think, yeah, having a little
Well,
creativity and humor can help with that.
I absolutely that because I think that's the biggest, and we could go on a long rant about this, and I probably
Yes, we
need to
could.
draw this to a close, but one of the great losses is in a time of despair and all this inequality, etc., the first thing that gets lost is our imagination. And the
Yeah.
greatest tragedy is that our imagination and humor is like stifled. And to me, our act of resistance lives in our creativity and our humor. And so, yeah, this show will never get green lighted the way we dream of it. And we had a bit of a laugh, and we, hopefully inspired people's creativity a little bit. And to me, that's the way we have to stay in the hopefulness is keep finding ways. And that's why even during the No Kings protests, the people that were out there in costumes and dancing on the
Yes.
streets and stuff, more power to them, because I think
Yeah.
that has to live in our
Yeah, I
resistance of
agree.
it.
I agree. And if you were making things and giving them away to people, we would love to see it. Like, go crazy in the comments on this
Share.
one.
Yeah,
We'll make
absolutely.
the comments public and show us the
Yeah.
stuff that you're making
Yeah.
just for your own delight or for others' delight
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Shall we,
We have
shall we
one
draw to a
more
close?
well, we've got one more webinar coming up for the Leadership for Liminal Spaces, December 4th. So do sign up for that. You can purchase all of the other webinars. Those are all available for
Yeah.
purchase if you'd
And
like.
soon we'll start announcing what we're doing in the new year,
Yeah.
how these programs will be revived again. So
Yeah.
yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah. And we've got some other really cool creative stuff coming up from our community that
Our people. Yeah, we've
yeah,
got people
coming
that
down the
are,
pipe. So
speaking of imagination, we're hearing all these
yes.
ideas come forward among our community. So
Yeah.
we're having fun with that. Yeah.
Super excited. So stay tuned for all of that.
Yeah.
And we'll be back maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll see. Until then.